Alright everyone, it's time for things that should be on the onion, but they're actually real. And that's that CNN right now is suing the Trump administration for cutting Jim Acosta off from the White House press corps. They took away his press pass. They are doomed to fail in this endeavor for so many reasons that it's almost like they're wasting their time. There's got to be another reason. They know that they're not going to get this to happen, so it's got to be in bad faith. I'm wondering what they're hoping to achieve. I'm thinking probably just attention or something like that, or they want kudos for suing the Trump administration on trumped up charges. The White House press passes that they give out are totally at will. There's no law that says that the White House, there's no constitutional amendment that says the White House shall, from time to time, take questions from people who make 6 or 7 figure salaries because they have a journalism degree and work for a 3-letter news corporation. That's not what it says. The freedom of the press is the right to disseminate information via mechanical, non-verbal, mechanical and electronic means. Largely that means the internet. We don't really use manual presses anymore. Publishing, editing work, printing up billets and manuscripts and stuff. Unless they say it's okay to be white, then apparently that's not protected by the First Amendment. We'll get you investigated somehow. What's happened, though, is this. CNN represents one company out of the entirety of the corporate press. The corporate press, in turn, is just one small proportion of the whole press. The whole press, every YouTuber is technically, if they're making videos, they're undergoing an activity of the press. Anyone who's self-published a book on Amazon, it's an activity of the press. You've made a magazine in high school or something, fucking anything like that is an activity of the press. It's not free speech. I'm not talking to you in an interpersonal manner. You're accessing an electronic transmission right now where a 2-dimensional image of me is being projected towards your eyeballs alongside an audio recording made up of ones and zeros, very electronic, very mechanical when you think about it. It's basically, you're watching the electric sticks right now. It's pretty cool. CNN will lose, though. It's an at-will press pass. CNN already has other people in the press pool, so it's not like CNN is being blocked as an entity, and even if it were, it wouldn't matter because there's no law against it. There's no rule or regulation that says the president has to entertain you, especially when Acosta several times has been disruptive during questioning. It's not so much, when Trump uses the term fake news, and he finally sort of made it clear what he meant, even though it was obvious to anyone who didn't have Trump derangement syndrome before anyway. He finally made it clear when he talks about that, he's talking about individuals within these companies that repeatedly and habitually lie. Jim Acosta is definitely one of them. CNN has a tendency to harbor people that engage in that kind of behavior, like their famous quip about WikiLeaks releases and how it was illegal for the average person to access them, even though that's completely untrue. CNN does lie to people. And the fact is that Jim Acosta was being disruptive. Now, I understand some people are saying, well, Sarah Huckabee Sanders was putting out a doctored video and Acosta never assaulted anyone and blah, blah. That doesn't matter. Because it's at will, they don't need a reason to force him out of the press pool at the White House. Literally no reason. They don't even have to give one. They could just say we're tired of dealing with him. Really, what they should have said is he's being disruptive. He's been disruptive before. We're tired of dealing with him. If CNN wants to appoint someone else to that spot, please make sure it's someone who, go ahead and be combative, but when it's someone else's turn to talk, it's not the president that you're disrupting so much as your fellow reporters. And some of these people came out and pointed that out. They're like, well, Acosta was being, brutish, and he should have just given up the microphone. It's like, what are you going to do about it? What did he expect to happen? No repercussions at all? Like, because he has the press pass and he works for CNN, he's beyond repercussion. Like he's special or something. No, he's not. There is no... If you're going to argue that a White House press pass is some sort of First Amendment right, that it's protected explicitly by the rights of the press to go to physically the White House and physically ask questions of the president, then I would want a press pass too. I should get one. I'm perfectly capable of undergoing the activities of the press. I can set up my little webcam in the corner and, fucking ask Trump a question once in a while. Or Sarah Huckabee Sanders. If that is not a privilege, an at-will privilege, but rather a right specifically protected under the First Amendment, then you have no choice. You have to issue me one, and you have to issue one to every other political YouTuber and all the bloggers and everyone else. It's going to be a pretty packed room. You might have to build a stadium at the White House. You're going to need to build, build it after Fenway Park or something. It'd be really funny. And then you can have the baseball team there. They can come along and they can do their practice, but once a day they have to clear the field, and Huckabee Sanders sits there at the podium or the fucking pitcher's mound or something, and everyone else gathers around in the bleachers and on the stands and asks questions using a megaphone. I guess he'd have to do that because he'd probably have tens of thousands of people showing up every day to ask a fucking question. By the way, I don't think that the corporate press would like that. They'd probably get drowned out now, wouldn't they? They'd be the minority in that crowd. Most of them would be a bunch of YouTubers. So yeah, if you're making that argument, then I want my press pass. In fact, give me Jim Acosta's press pass. You know, YouTube needs to have a dedicated individual there to ask questions related to censorship and technology and, you know, stuff. Most of the people in that room are like over 60 and shit. Now, I'm not saying that that's, you know, problematic. I'll get there someday too, unless I keel over of alcohol poisoning or whatever. But, you know, come on, dude. Lauren Southern had a temporary press pass once. Are you saying that the fact that that was she doesn't get a permanent press pass and get to go there every day? Her First Amendment rights were violated. Styx Hexenhammer isn't allowed to wander into the Rose Garden after a cursory check and start taking pictures. My First Amendment rights are being violated. Oh my God, Mr. President, I'm suing. No, literally, like if they were to win this lawsuit, it would definitely set the groundwork for a First Amendment battle by other people that represent independent and small media outlets, as well as people who simply report and analyze. They do news and politics. They don't have a press pass, my goodness. But it's a right to have a press pass, and it can't be revoked. You can even like be disruptive. Like I can sit there scratching my ass and burping and farting and drink and do crazy shit. They can't even kick me out of the White House at that point. I don't think CNN has fully thought through how dumb their argument really is. Oh my God. Our reporter was disrupting other reporters, disrupting their ability to undergo the activities of the press. But that's okay. He should keep his press pass and be able to go and harass Trump every other day. And Huckabee Sanders. Now, of course, I don't believe Acosta assaulted anyone. Pushing someone's hand away when they're grabbing for the microphone. It's like he should have just given it up. It's not his mic. It's not like CNN's microphone. It's the one they've got hooked up for general use or whatever, I guess. He should have given it up. He's not within his rights to disrupt other reporters, but it's not assault. Let's get that thing perfectly clear. That is totally wrong. That being said, I'm glad he lost his press pass. And the White House shouldn't back down on it. They should say, go ahead and sue. Fucking we'll see you in court. We've got a lot more money than CNN does. That's about all. Peace out.